Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Dreamhack TV with live coverage of the Dreamhack Winter 2013 event. I'm Breaky CPK.
I'm Beef.
And we are ready to jump into our next match here. A little bit of a break there. Do apologize. Obviously, some technical difficulties. But we are back and things should be good. Crossing the fingers. We got Denial eSports taking on Stay Green. A very important matchup to say the least. And as you can see, we are already jumping in. We are at the hero selection stage, the band's first things first. But again, this matchup here, Beef, so many reasons why this is going to be a great matchup. The biggest one for this event specifically, though, is that these two teams are still currently undefeated. Yeah. You got Stay Green at 2-0. You got Denial eSports at 1-0. This could determine a first-place seeding here coming out of Group A, Beef.
It very well could. I mean, you talk about internet gangsters being a factor in here as well, but at least so far, IG, they have that loss to Stay Green, so they're not really in the forefront right now. We're just looking at these two teams, but of course, that IG versus SG match, that's going to be coming up next as well. So we got a couple of
IG
really
versus
good matches.
Denial.
IG versus Denial, you're right. You're right. I keep getting those backward, but
okay.
In any case, IG versus Denial, that's coming up next. But this one right here, Breaky, as you said, we're in this drafting stage. All the way up top, we got Warbeast, Scout, Ophelia, and Sandwraith being our bands. So definitely kind of back into that territory where you see those more normal bands once again. And of course, Scout not going to make it through.
Well, yeah, the Sandwraith band, though, coming out from Stay Green. I mean, that shows some respect over there that they just do not want to deal with the Sandwraith power over here to be in the hands of Flensmeister, most likely. Of course, he is their go-to carry player. Formerly a while ago of Lion Esports. Obviously, he's found a new home here in Denial, and definitely it seems like he's been fitting in very well once again. And again, another thing about this matchup here is, I keep talking about bringing up the idea that Slapped and Swinamount don't really get along. And let's just say, I was talking the other night, I was talking to all the players, talking to Swinamount specifically about Denial eSports. Mm-hmm. He's saying that he's almost annoyed to an extent of how cocky they've been since they beat them in Han Tour.
Yeah.
They beat them in the Han Tour, I think it was cycle 6, I believe it was, in the semifinals. And then since then, Denial eSports has obviously been, they've been getting more and more high for good reason. They have been having some good results, but he feels like that was maybe a little bit of a fluke, you could say. And, what better way to prove that it was than here at Dreamhack with the victory here in a best of one. So, but, same thing for Denial eSports. On the other side of the spectrum, they're like, we showed that we can compete with the best.
Absolutely.
And we're fine doing it once again here. So I'm looking for this is probably one of the best matches I'm looking forward to out of these group stages here.
There's a lot going into it, Breaky, and to the victor go the spoils in this best of one. I mean, you don't have a best of 3. You don't have that kind of cushion like you do in Han Tour. Here, it's all on the line. You could be looking at anything. You could be looking at crazy push strats, level 1 Kongs, whatever. You got to be ready for it all. And the victor of this match very well could be going to the semifinals.
Yes, that's a great right to the semifinals, exactly. Yeah. With that first place bye, again, we keep stressing that right now. TMSR over there in Group B is in that prime spot. Mm-hmm. You got Stay Green. They're 2-0 to now 1-0, so obviously Stay Green slight advantage there. But again, this winner really is going to be in that prime spot of finishing first place. But Beef, we got plenty to talk about with the picks now. So moving into that, it looks like it was Tempest into Keeper of the Forest, Engineer into Wretched Hag, Bubbles into Kraken. So we're going to be seeing Limp playing his signature Kraken. Now, see, that's kind of interesting. Flux banned right off the bat by Denial eSports. Now, I see that's interesting because Limp is usually the one to play that Flux. Mm-hmm. And not only that, they seem like they like to run it whenever they have an Engineer. Neither one of those factors are probably going to show up here. So I don't know if that Flux ban is 100% necessary, but they have been running a lot of Flux lately as well. So Denial just does not want to have to risk it here.
It's certainly one that could have paired up pretty well with your Wombo combo between the Keeper of the Forest, the Wretched Hag, and the Kraken. But as you said, a couple reasons why it might not have been perfect right there. But in any case, the 3 heroes that are already on the board for Stay Green are terrifying. Absolutely terrifying in their synergy. These are 3 that I'm like, okay, if they get like 1 of these, that's not good. If they get 2 of these, I'm like, okay, Stay Green's in a really good spot. Yeah. And then they got 3. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be really interesting. Denial's got to have a very solid strategy coming into this to be able to counter just the raw heroes.
Yeah.
These are just heroes that Stay Green love.
Yeah.
And Stay Green are very open about it. Swindelmoun's notably about the strength of these heroes, especially together. But the second set of bans are finishing up right now, and we already saw that Flux. What else we got, Breaky?
We got the Ravener, the Rally, the Pestilence, and the Torture. Now, definitely one that stands out there is more so that Pestilence even. ProBusk plays a fantastic Pestilence for Denali Esports. They are not going to want to deal with the hero. Now, there is another hero that's coming to the forefront of my mind right now. Drunken Master. Denali Esports has been running the Drunken Master a bit recently, especially against State Green. In fact, again, looking back at the series where they did take them out in that cycle, they ran Drunken Master against them, at least in one of those games, to get that victory. So, now usually they like to run that with maybe a Master of Arms support. We do see right there the final band Master of Arms. Granted, they already had an engineer anyways. So I don't know if it would be the case here. But with that said, again, I still wouldn't be surprised because it seems like it is somewhat of a comfort hero for them. And it ends up in the hands of Mickey usually. By the way, Mickey, you saw the picture right there. It's the first time we get to see it. Yeah, he's a shorter fella. I mean, he's young. He's 13 years old, I believe. So, but clearly,
15.
Is he 15? Okay,
he's not going backward.
He's it seems like players like Zai, they just never grow.
I
they never get older, I
that.
should say. But obviously, hey, we're old. We're old, man. They're all just so much younger than us, anyways. But no, again, it usually ends up in his hands, and he plays either the short letter or even the Suicide Drunken Master. Anyways, point being, maybe we'll see it here, maybe not, but they're actually spending a good amount of time here as we're down to 25 seconds on the next pick going to be coming out. We'll say they got Slap's going to be playing the Tempest. That's a very comfort factor for him. Devour coming out. ProBusk does play the Devourer, and he's one of these other players that does every now and then play the Devourer, so not too surprising to see that.
He's definitely got a big history in playing Prisoner 945.
Yeah.
And taking it in there saying, hey, not too different from Devo. Sure, he's got some experience in it with the pub scene, and we've definitely seen him a few times here on the competitive scene playing the Devo, but, I mean, it's just one of those heroes that brings so much action in no matter what, and just, I love seeing him. This is our first Devo at Dreamhack, Breaky. If we don't see a Super KGE Devo, I'm going to be really mad. I was at the LAN Center yesterday, and I saw him playing Gauntlet and Devo.
Gauntlet? Really?
Gauntlet.
It's about time.
Two games of Gauntlet at the LAN Center yesterday.
Time.
Woo!
We got to see it in a match now. We got to see it in a match. You know, actually, I got the chance to interview him, obviously, after they beat... I think it was their victory over Reason Gaming.
Yeah.
And I brought up the point, should we expect to see something from you guys later on in this event, something completely different? He's saying, yeah, expect something different. So I'm waiting for that. Especially to see what that's going to be.
I mean,
in terms of a different hero, a different style even. But
it's not too far out there. Lions and TMSR have both used the hero in the last couple of months. And at least one game. So it's kind of had mixed results as well in scrims and whatnot, but we'll have to see.
As far as another hook hero option go, I mean, he's a great one. There's only so many, I guess. There's like 4. So, but he's the one that's kind of on that outside that we don't really see. Whoa! We're sitting here talking about other stuff. Look at Denial Esports busting out the Oogie.
Oogie Boogie, baby. There you go.
I can't do it. We need this song to start playing because it's perfect right now. No, but Oogie coming out. What? Are we going to see a Mage Bane here? Will State Green go Mage Bane to finish? I doubt they're going to do that, but...
Trouf's going to come out of nowhere and build an icon of the goddess?
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Now, I mean, how about this, though? Witch Slayer picked up by State Green. Now, again, I talked... Insania mentioned this the other day. They were actually running a Witch Slayer supported. State Green and IG are very close teams in terms of running, similar stuff. And there you go. It is going to be a Witch Slayer support. So we saw this out of Mythos 2Y earlier against State Green, and we were kind of criticizing a little bit, but State Green's like, well, we'll do it ourselves, and they got the Corrupted Disciple carry. There's a couple of things to talk about here, but no doubt the Oogie is the one that it's like, we got an Oogie, ladies and gentlemen. That's exciting.
I mean, sometimes you just show up at Dreamhack and you got to do the Oogie Boogie, Breaky.
Show us what that is, Beef.
Wow, Breaky, please. I don't want to put everybody to shame. You know what? You get a few drinks on me on Saturday night. No, maybe I'll show you what the Oogie Boogie is.
At the arena.
There you go.
It's going to happen. The Oogie Boogie.
But,
oh, my God. We're going to see an Oogie.
Going to be really interesting to see where they actually lane him right now, as I would think it's probably going to be in the short lane here. I mean, Engineer Devourer in the middle lane makes sense, with Mickey on the Bubble Suicide, and then Oogie is going to be there in the middle, in the bottom lane.
We are getting some crazy static on our side.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that's not going out to the audience right now.
I don't think it is, but... So bear with us as we might be sounding a little derpy here for a little bit. We got this loud... I mean, it's already loud here at Dreamhack, and it's even going to get louder and louder, but... That's just an whole. Okay, it looks like it may have died down. I think we're good. I think we're good, Beef. Anyways, okay, so I was thinking about it. So we got Oogie here. When was the last time we saw Oogie? Tralfamador.
Yeah.
We saw Tralfamador play Oogie for Team USA. Was it actually Complexity?
That was Complexity.
that was Complexity.
That was Dreamhack qualifiers.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And, of course, that was famously going up against, it was against Stay Green, right? Where they ran, was it against Stay Green? I forget. Okay, I'm trying to make up stuff on the fly. Anyways, I know it was against the Mage Band in the end. They ended up running it against the Mage Band. And, of course, there was that moment where, you know, we got an early Icon of the Goddess, and that was before Icon of the Goddess was even a remotely picked up item. And talk about an item that's good on a hero. That seems like that's a go-to item for Oogie on top, of course, Grimoire Power. So my point being, we don't really know what to expect with Oogie. I'm excited to see here from Flensmeister.
I mean, I'm really interested to see with the Oogie as well, because he's a hero that's like a crazy tank but damage dealer. The way that his ultimate works, of course, with part of your damage being gone to restore your mana, and then spending mana to heal yourself. Like, you can just kind of sit in things like a Kraken ultimate, and as soon as you're not stunned anymore, you're just casting, and you're healing, and you're casting, and you're healing, and he just soaks up a ton of damage. I mean, depending on the route that he goes here, he can get extremely tanky, tank all the burst damage here, all the crowd control out of this Hellborn team, and still be an extremely potent damage dealer. So I'm really liking this pick out of Denial. The hard part is going to be getting him out of the early stages of this game. If he can get to like the 10-minute mark and retain like 350, 400 GPM, I think Denial are going to be in a really good spot.
Now, there's several things to really talk about here. I mean, first off, the Jungle Keeper of the Forest coming up from Stay Green again. Jungle Keeper of the Forest seems like he's making a strong comeback, honestly. Lions has been doing this a bit recently. This is the second time we've seen a Jungle Keeper of the Forest today, even being around. The first time was, again, with Mythos. Do I go figure they had that, as well as the Witchslayer support. Kind of just a coincidence there with them and Stay Green as far as the matches are, the lineups are concerned. But so yeah, definitely some interesting things coming out. They got Kraken solo mid, Wretched Hag is in that long lane, and actually here comes Engineer, and all of a sudden Swinomelt's not going to have as good of a time at this bottom lane. You see support putting some good pressure and actually some good damage, and Wretched Hag will be forced to blink away. The Tarquake being used by Oogie again. That's one of those abilities. Obviously, she continues to spam it, the more and more damage it gets, but also the more mana costly it gets on top of that. But Probusk playing the Devour, though. It's fun seeing heroes like this. I'm going to try to keep the camera over here quite a bit. Granted, it is against a Kraken. Don't necessarily expect any kills to be happening, but as the game picks up, very, very perhaps. And then that leaves the top lane, though. You got Corrupted Disciple. Of course, Chessie going to be having a good time up there as Witchslayer supporting for him. But I would really like to hear, you know, maybe even an interview after, whichever team wins for that matter, but kind of the insight on this Witchslayer support and what the deal is with all of a sudden we're seeing him now a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be able to shut down some of these heroes a little bit more effectively. The ability to have double CCs to try to interrupt on the Devo ult, as well as the double CCs to break Tempest ultimate, definitely going to be interesting. And then, of course, the Hex, the shutdown bubbles, could be helping to set up some more early kills. But right now, Z-Freak looks like he's going to be trying to zone out the bubbles quite a bit here in the top lane. But, well, they're trying to get in on him right here. There's the conduit going off. The graveyard is there, and the auto attacks with the take cover is going to be plenty for Mickey to be able to get out of there. But he's now completely out of regen and not going to be really close to that bottle. So Mickey definitely not going to get a lot in that top lane.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good situation to be in. He is going to go to the observatory right here, and he's going to go ahead and get a regen in terms of the health potion as well as the mana potion. And now he's maybe heading towards the middle lane, looking to do some harassment there. No, he's going to be going back top. So not sure what the bottom lane was about right there. Apparently, Wretched Hag going at it with support, but in the end, Oogie is obviously having a good time. He seems like he got that one level in a Kindled Fury now, of course, giving the mana back every couple of auto attacks. That's how that ability works, all the way up to 10% of missing mana on, what is it, an 8-second cooldown on level 4. Starts at 11 seconds. So you do see Wretched Hag, though, again, good pressure from support playing that Engineer. I mean, that's not easy to land those keg stuns against a solo target like that running around, but he's managing to do it.
Did he just interrupt the potion as well right there? Or was there no potion?
I honestly went away,
one.
So
I thought there was one, and then threw out a really deep turret, and I think it barely interrupted the potion. So Swindle completely out of regen. Gonna have a bottle delivered to him right now, though. It looks like, that is coming his way, and Sonar screamed nothing right there. So good use of the mana. interesting.
I've never misclicked in my life before, so I don't know what he's doing.
I definitely press R a lot and drop engineer ultimates when I'm trying to use the courier. But that's neither here nor there. Swinnemelon's in a hard suicide Wretched Hag. We normally see him in a 1v2 middle, but very rarely in this full position.
Well, I mean, this is that one. It seems like this is the one time every now and then when he happens to be playing a Wretched Hag, he'll play it in that suicide role, maybe even the short lane, depending on obviously what other heroes they have. So in this case, he is playing that suicide, as you put it. And again, matched up against the Oogie and Engineer. Who thought we'd be saying that? Oogie Engineer lane combination. Flensmeister, speaking of him, 352 gold per minute. So he is off to a good start. In fact, he's pulling up quite a bit of gold right here. He's actually at 1250 right now. I am guessing he's going to upgrade those boots probably into the Steam boots first, and then eventually go from there. But like I said, the icon of the goddess, the Grimoire Power, actually top lane. Mickey's in trouble. Mickey's always probably going to fall. The final auto attack. Yes, Bloodlust kill in favor of Z-Freak. He misplayed a little bit right there. Kind of, but not really. I mean, at the same time, it's difficult. Witcher was able to hex him as soon as he came out of the take cover, and he was not able to port because of that. So he just got locked down. Well played by Stay Green right there.
Yeah, very well done indeed, and they bring home the Bloodlust kill, so going to be getting a little bit of a resource advantage right here, and they certainly needed that. If they allowed Mickey to actually get good levels and especially get to that level 6 up top without making him pay for it, they'd be in a pretty bad position, but definitely a necessary kill right there. Keeper of the Forest, he's getting his job done as well, and I think he's going to be hitting 6 pretty soon here, so look for them to maybe set up another kill into that bubbles up top and try to convert into a tower. But Tempest is already 6. He's at the bottom rune and might go for Wretched Hag right here, Breaky.
Well, there's a couple of exchanges going on. We do see at the top, but in the meantime, Devour's going to be locked down. Proboscis is going to fall. Limp finds him. A beautiful release to Kraken to cut him off. And then a Tsunami Charge just smashes face into the cliff right there. So kill coming out for Limp once again. And now a 2-0 start in favor of Stay Green. So you got bottom lane, Wretched Hag. She was able to get away before anything happened to her. Not the same thing at the top side for the opposite team. Denali Esports loses Devour, and just like that, our start's pretty, definitely much more in favor of Stay Green now. I just saw an item purchase on Oogie. It looks like a glowstone picked up. So he's not even upgrading the boots. He's going straight into Icon of the Goddess. I mean, like I was saying, I knew that it could be a great item on him, but straight Icon with just red boots? I mean, wow, that's a statement right there.
I mean, if he's able to get this really early, and then be able to start using it to build up those charges, Breaky. I mean, you get like 20, 25 charges. It gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, it definitely does. A little easier said than done, though. Obviously, that could be a lot of work. Oh, top lane, bottom lane, even Wretched Hag. She was porting back to base. Even Engineer tried to stop it in time, was not able to do so. Meanwhile, the middle lane, Devour and Kraken going at it, but it looks like that's not going to land in too much. Devour's ultimate was used, but Kraken's going to fall back with the Illusion Rune. So bottom lane, though, will be pushed in. In fact, you see Oogie right here. He's going to activate that Conflagrate, and actually has maxed that out. So they're definitely very interested, as always, with new heroes, to see how they level it up. And maxing out the Conflagrate, that's actually interesting to see, honestly, because, you know, the Tarquake, obviously, some good damage can come out of that with the levels and whatnot. It also increases, no, it's just the magic damage, I guess. But obviously, the more you use it again, the more damage it puts, just to get more mana cost. And then even the Kindled Fury, you know, good for getting that mana back in that laning phase even, with spamming with an ability like the Tarquake or the Conflagrate. But maxing out the Conflagrate for max damage in terms of that, as well as the boost in movement speed, a 20% boost. So
that's more what I'm looking at here, because, I mean, you're either going to be using the Tarquake or you're going to be using the Conflagrate there, and I think Conflagrate, just with that increased burst of movement speed, is going to be a little bit more useful, as they're going to try to run down Wretched Hag here. There's the Conflagrate activated with the Tarquake. Actually, in the middle lane, there was a kill, but the Elemental Void is going to lock down Swinnemelons. And so Denial finally puts themselves on the board.
Well, yeah, you see the Conflagrate definitely coming into play right there, as you're talking about, but I was actually watching the middle lane, and that was just another beautiful play by Limp. It honestly was. It even caught me off guard. It definitely caught Probusc off guard. He was literally sitting next to his tower right here with about 3/4 of his life. All of a sudden, Kraken Tsunami charged him out of nowhere, and then released the Kraken right on top of it. So Limp did the math. He knew exactly what needed to be done right there, and he was able to easily pick up the kill onto Devour. So well played by Limp on the Kraken. Again, I feel like I say that a lot when he plays this hero, especially. So not too surprised again. He's going in once again. Devour, his ultimate's going to be countered there. Root comes out. Engineer going to be locked down. No, Engineer will fall when it's all said and done. The splash out of attack too much. Torn off to the side on Devour. Devour's locked down. He missed the hook on a Witch there, and Witch there is going to be able to fall back. All 5 of Stay Green are all of a sudden in the middle lane. this is what they do best. They all of a sudden group up, and before you know it, they're at their secondary tower.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and put some pressure on this one as well. I mean, they might even be able to take this. The Elemental Void is down, and I think that's really what sparked this group up from Stay Green, saying, hey, you're going to use that Elemental Void on one player. We'll take 2 towers and a couple hero kills in the middle lane, but all of a sudden we're 5-on-5 here in the middle lane. I'm going to go back in right here with the Sonar Scream. Bubble's going to port on out of there. There's the Torrent going off right here on Oogie, and it looks like Oogie will be able to get out of there, but Stay Green gets right back to it. This tower's going down, Breaky.
Yeah.
Oh, big hook.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. Not going to be enough, though, at the end. Wretched Egg able to blink away. And the tower does fall, sure enough. So, you know, it goes back to the Tempest ultimate being down, but I also think, honestly, this has a lot to do with Oogie in general. Because Oogie, he needs time to build up. I mean, he needs time. Once he gets the Icon of the Goddess, sure, he definitely might be a force to reckon with. But until he gets that, he's a lot more concerned about just farming. Again, especially with this build that he went for. Like I'm talking about the Conflagrate, it's a lot more, obviously, damage over time build. It's not the bursty style of damage that the Tarquake could be, which in that fight right there probably would have been a lot more useful for the team. So I think it's a couple factors that are coming into play for Stay Green that they are just really taking advantage of the circumstances. Again, they're great at doing that, so that's not really a surprise. But also for Denali Esports, on the other hand, it's putting them pretty far behind now. Already 6,000 deficit in gold, on top of that 4,100 experience deficit. So, I mean, sure, Oogie is having a solid time, 365 GPM, but now you're at a place like he's going to be having that Icon of the Goddess, but that's the other funny thing about an Icon of the Goddess. If you don't snowball with the item, if you're not getting hero kills with it, then you spent a lot of gold just for some raw stats, basically, which is not bad, but there's better investments out there if you're not going to be building up those charges. Meanwhile, top lane Bubbles,
he's done.
He's, well, take cover. No, he's dead.
I mean, it was well played right there with the correct placement on the Shell Surf, but Limp and Chessie just knew exactly what they were going to be doing and made sure to get the cutoff, and now they're going to be able to put some additional pressure on the top tower. But speaking of pressure on towers, there's 4 players in the middle lane right now for Denial, but they are so far behind here. Just 11 minutes into this game, Breaky. They're behind quite a bit in items and, of course, 5,000 experience. They're going to go in right now.
Oh, no. The big lockdown. The Bat Blast set up on 2. Down goes Tempest right there, though. But Silver bullet to the face. He stood no chance. Okay, in the meantime, he does have that Primal Surge activated. He is just running, though. You see him using the Tarquake every now and then, so he is healing up a little bit. But he is out of mana now. Ooh. And Engineer actually hooked back in, but not enough. I love it, Beef. You're like, oh, no. Oh. It almost was enough.
I always root for the Engineer.
Exactly. Always root for the Engineer in that case, but unfortunately not enough to keep him alive. Kraken just playing a little bit better right there and able to snipe him out. So, yeah, as fun as it was to see an Oogie pick Beef, I think this might be a game where we might not be able to see it take off unless they all of a sudden get some huge pickoffs or able to just somehow stop this train that's going from Stay Green. I don't know, man, because they still need time for Oogie. He still needs to get that icon. But like I was saying, even with that, he then wants to build up those charges, and I don't know if this team is in the shape to be getting kills necessarily.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really difficult to pick up those kills unless Stay Green is overextending. And Stay Green knows the only way they lose this game is if they overextend, but Kraken's about to drop a giant Kraken ult from Invis.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, the humanity.
No. Oh, no. Tempest stands no chance right here. He's going to live barely not long enough, though. And we saw that coming a mile away. Unfortunately, Denali Esports did not. Obviously, Invisor helps with that. You see, okay, he's going to jet on out of there. He just flies. I just love the animation of that. He's like, I'm on fire. Just running away. It's just hilarious. Anyways, he gets away, but long story short, again, Stay Green well on top, and now they're going into the Congo pit. This is going to be a 13.5-minute Congo kill.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, 13-minute token with the 10,000 lead. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, not insurmountable at all, good. But Oogie's going to try to finish up that Icon of the Goddess here pretty soon. I don't really know if it's going to make much of a difference because, I mean, Stay Green, they are a team that remains composed pretty much no matter what. Even more so here on land, defending their Dreamhack title. There's absolutely no way that they're just going to lose their minds and start diving base. I mean, you're going to have a Shrunken Head that's going to be finished up here with a token plus an Energizer on Chessie in just a moment. And he's going to have level 11. Like, Limp is already level 12, so that's a thing. I mean, Limp just does not lose on Kraken.
He doesn't, and it seems like it's been a while since we've seen Limp on Kraken, honestly, for Stay Green. And I kind of want, I wonder if that was a plan. They're like, you know what, we're going to sacrifice the cycle of Haunter and not run Kraken on Limp just to make people forget about it. And then we'll bring it back for Dreamhack. And before you know, they're like, oh, yeah, he's really good on that hero. So they're running Flux with him. It's like, oh, whatever, not a big deal. But yeah, I doubt that's actually the case. But still, it's just kind of a funny coincidence that happens to be there. But 14 and a half minutes in now, Token alive Uncorrupted. He has a Shrunken Head, obviously, well in the works. Speaking of Icon, Wretched Hag says he wants to go one of his own. He actually buys a Glowstone right there, so trying to rub it in even. 2,000 plus gold saved on Minogi. He has enough now, if I'm not mistaken, actually just about enough. And he's 2150 here.
10 gold.
Okay, so yeah, he has it now.
There we go.
He's going to go back, so there you go. I mean, Icon of the Goddess on Oogie.
Yeah.
There you go. 15 minutes in. Now to start building up the charges. I mean, like you said, if he gets 20 to 25 charges, then pretty good.
I mean, if they're able to get like 12 kills right here, 12 times the amount of kills as they have currently, then Oogie might be able to survive in team fights until he dies once and loses all those charges. But I mean,
up to 8.
Yeah, up to 8. Okay. But I mean, he's still level 9 right now. There's just still not so much that you can do with this level 9 Oogie with red boots. Like, he's just not going to be contributing that much. And right now, it looks like Engineer might get picked off. No, Keeper of the Forest going to fall back saying, it's not worth using a route right there just for an Engineer. And Stay Green, I mean, they know they don't need to take any risks. They don't need to force anything. Just take it easy and let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you got right here at eSports. They are kind of as a team, but they ran right past the Sword Aside. So exactly, Stay Green knows exactly where they are. Kraken just got delivered his portal key, or he bought the portal key even at the top lane. Hellborn Courier was actually over the Legion team there for a little bit, but it is fun. But I love this Courier, by the way. And I get distracted by these things.
Same.
But, yeah, there you go. This is how appropriate a Turkey Thanksgiving Courier. Happy Thanksgiving to the Americas, by the way. That's with the Winter Dreamhack, find ourselves out here, and nothing wrong with that by any means, but it is officially Thanksgiving today in the Americas. So.
I had some turkey for breakfast.
Got to represent, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Tempest gets picked off. That's not good. And Devour's going to pour it out, so. Another kill happening for Stay Green, and again, like you said, they're in no rush, but at the same time, they have a crazy lead, and it's one of those cases of when you got a big lead, might as well look to really finish it in then. And Keeper of the Forest, he's setting up in the middle lane right here.
Yeah, he certainly is. Wants to set up on this bubbles and will reveal himself. Engineer and Noogie are there, and Keeper is going to go for the double route right now. Engineer going to get the ultimate off immediately, but Engie is going to go down. Bubbles forced to shell surf on out of there. Devo going to go for a hook, but he's going to get the kill on Wretched Hag, but then what, Breaky?
Yeah, well, at what cost?
Yeah. Nice Earthlings around there.
It was a good hook, but yeah, that's one of those classic cases of it's a good hook that led to a bad result, unfortunately. Mickey, in the meantime, he actually made a pretty good escape, or made pretty good dodges to stay on the Keeper route. He actually did a good take cover as the Keeper route was used, so he avoided that in the first place. And ultimately, that was help keep him alive, but obviously the big picture. Stay Green is mowing on through. Middle tower easily going to be pressured in. Guess who's not here? Wretched Hag or Witch Slayer. They only have 3 players here, yet they still don't care. It's more than enough. Oogie charging in. Here we go. Oogie's in. Tarkway goes down. The one does now hit right there. The conflagrate's up. You see how fast the man is draining, though. And he gets charged in the ledge right there. Tempest in the background. He runs in. Thug damage ultimate. It does catch 3. Will they have enough damage? The mana on Oogie. It's just not enough. He's going to start falling back. Primal Surge is up. But again, he's not able to do enough damage. They will pick off Keeper of the Forest, though. Hellborn team, though, I think Stay Green is like, okay, maybe we did overstay a little bit right there.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they might have, and I mean, that's the kind of thing that Stay Green needs to avoid. Giving up unnecessary kills means that Oogie's going to start to accumulate those charges, and you give up like 15 more kills, and you're certainly not in a good position. 1 or 2 here or there, it's not the biggest deal, but Stay Green, I mean, they definitely don't want to be giving up any, and I'm sure Swinamons, he's telling his boys right now, guys, no more kills.
Yeah.
The entire rest of the game, we're not giving up another kill.
Yeah, that's a good, again, especially with Swinamons, this team, the captain that he is, they're here to win in the end. You know, the occasional having fun with it, sure, but, you know, as you said, at this point, it's, okay, we gave them a little bit of hope here. Let's make sure not to do that again. This is a team that is a very quality team, and they have beaten us recently in the past. We do not want to risk too much, so in the end, take care of business. So they are still in the well lead with that said, 14,000 gold lead. in the good lead even. 12,000 plus experience lead. They have ports coming to the middle lane now. Wretched Hag already here as you got Kraken and Witchslayer joining. They're jumping in, though, just farming up the creep wave. Kraken, though, he's working towards his own shrunken head. Might not even be necessary, though, at this rate. Corrupted Disciple still has the token, by the way, as he actually ports mid, and they are going to push once again. So they know the Tempest Ultimate is down this time. It's down for another 100 seconds even, so that ain't coming up anytime in the near future. This is where Stay Green goes cutthroat now, and this is where they really try to finish the game. We'll see. May the Rax, it's going to be exposed. Denial, will they make a move right away or not? They're going to have to try for something here.
Yeah, they've got Corrupted Disciple with that token on the front lines, like you said, but with an engineer on the other side of the team, you've always got to be a little bit worried about that. Kraken's going to go in right here, though. Release the Kraken is there. There's the Devo hook, but the Bat Blast going to be coming out right here. Engineer going to be going down as well as Bubbles. Devo falls, and Oogie, no more Kuru.
Oogie goes down. Hat-trick coming out for Corrupted Disciple. You see Oogie coming back, and he actually, he's able to, no, not really. He's going to be chased back, but you can see it coming out, though. GG well played. And it looks like game is going to be going to Stay Green. Obviously, it ain't over just yet. There we go. Now it's official. Stay Green. Talk about a statement, man. 19-3 hero kill advantage. They win right there with the game. Again, I know a lot of people are going to be looking at that game right there. And first things first, Denial with the Oogie pick. It's whenever that happens, it's the case of either it's just disastrous, it doesn't do good, it fails to an extent, or it really works out really well, and it's like, oh my god, that was a perfect pick.
Yeah.
This game's definitely was more along the lines of maybe not the best. Now, granted, Oogie himself did decent, but again, I think a lot of it really has to do with the fact that he needed more time to build and get to that point, whereas Stay Green was like, we know that, we're going to push at you knowing that you can't do much to stop us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because, like you said, works out or it doesn't. This case doesn't. Stay Green, definitely a team to take advantage. You said the push right there didn't give them the time that they needed, and it's really, really risky. In this case, it didn't work out. Denial, they're by no means out of this tournament, Breaky. They're still very much so in the running for second or third here, but Stay Green, they've just finished up 3-0 out of the group here on the first day. I mean, unless they lose to the BYOC team and the BYOC team goes 3-1 tomorrow or 4-0, it's up to you, BYOC team. Otherwise, Stay Green's going to the semifinals.
I heard Cat Lomain.
That's right.
Adro, a couple of player names that I recognize are out there. You know, there's a chance. No, obviously, Stay Green, they're in prime spot to secure that first place spot and moving on. And, you know, speaking about Denial eSports, you said by no means, be too discouraged. I mean, in your 1-1 record right now, they face off IG next. And in fact, we are planning, of course, to cast that one next as well. So obviously, as always, we'll have a little bit of break here, perhaps an interview with the Stay Green player in between. But that next match, Internet Gangsters versus Denial eSports, that will really set us up leading into tomorrow again on that second tier, that second, third place spot in terms of where those two teams might match up and how that's going to shape up. So both teams obviously losing to the likes of Stay Green, both teams defeating Myth S2Y. How will they do against each other? Well, we'll have to find out here in just a bit, Beef. Do you have a prediction? I mean,
I think I've got IG.
Yeah.
They told me, they said we needed the warm-up match. We're not losing any more games here. They seem confident.
I have been saying for the longest time, I think I've always thought IG was kind of that underdog team to an extent. So from that perspective, I probably would have leaned a little bit towards Internet Gangsters, but Denial eSports, they are inexperienced, but I think, this is a team, this is a chance for them to really prove it, that they've got what it takes. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. That is going to be coming up next. As always, we're going to go on a short break, ladies and gentlemen. Our Dreamhack winner 2013 coverage continues. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.